start. It was 2019. I just graduated from university. I studied management information systems. So for those who don't know what management information systems is, it's really the study of using technology to solve problems. So I studied that, and then I got my first role in cybersecurity. I went to a conference called NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. My senior year was a NSBE convention, and I had a few job interviews. And after failing some, and getting a golden opportunity with Lockheed Martin, that's pretty much how I got my start in cybersecurity. I did have some IT, a little bit of IT experience via an internship my senior year going into college, and I did have people in my life who are also in tech. So if you are looking to get into cybersecurity, knowing people who are already in the industry and getting their insights is also valuable. So for me, it was a collection of networking, IT internships that I had in my senior year, and also my bachelor's degree would kind of led me fall into the cybersecurity space.
So how long have you been in GRC now? Oh, I guess cybersecurity as a whole. What does your career progression look like?
Yeah, so I started my first role as a cybersecurity engineer by title, but my role was really focused on like the first year was really focused on change management. So ensuring that any documentation updates that existed, there was documented entries for every time any documentation was changed or updated, whatever that may entail. So for me, it was making sure that we had a strong change management process because having a strong change management process ensures that the information security is the posture is maintained as well. It contributes to that. And it wasn't very technical. I did that for about a year. Did I like it? No, but I understood the value of it. And that was like pretty much my first GRC role. And then, the second year at Lockheed, that's when I got into a new internal role where I was doing a lot of auditing.
Mhm.
So people hear about, different compliance frameworks, et cetera. For me, I was ensuring that, that all the systems that we were delivering to our customer met minimal security requirements specified by said security framework. So I had one person that I knew that I worked with on campus, like when I was doing my IT internship. I knew him. He got into cybersecurity. The thing is with him, he was never interested in cybersecurity. It was more of a last minute. Oh, I found the cybersecurity job. He just hopped on it. So his name was Malcolm Gordon. Good guy. Malcolm, if you're watching this, I love you dearly, my brother. Yeah, I didn't know a lot of people. It was maybe like maybe one or two people that I personally knew were in the space. But looking back at it, I think taking that leap to get into cybersecurity was mainly because of them. It wasn't. When I first started getting into it, it was really for the money. Started. All right, when I first started. Now I'm a bit more passionate about it, but when I first started, it was more of a financial thing.
Awesome. I'm glad you brought up money. Can you share with someone looking to get into cybersecurity what their expectations would be for like the first salary, the range for the first salary, and then even moving upwards, what that range would also look like?
Yeah, so your salary, I mean, mind you, this was about 5 years ago, right? So things are a little bit different. Your salary depends on where you're located, how much already experience that you have. You have to remember that some people, when they get into cybersecurity, they're already coming with professional experience into their first cybersecurity role. So that counts for something that may warrant, a higher pay due to your competence in other areas. So for me, I started off my first role. This was in Orlando. I started off with $70,000, which was really, really great.
Hmm.
Still, that's great.
Five years
Inflation.
ago. Wow.
5 years
Yeah.
ago, yeah. And I thought that was great, fresh out of college. And then also, you want to factor in, not obviously inflation is a bit higher. Orlando, the cost of living has skyrocketed since then.
Mhm.
And, a lot of other places, cost of living skyrocketed as well. So I think it's hard. It really is hard for me to give a number, but just know that seven, make starting off with 70 as your first cybersecurity role, 70 to 85. I think that's a good sweet spot in
Yeah.
my opinion. I think that's a good sweet spot. The thing is, when it comes to trajectory, the trajectory gets pretty crazy. When as you continue to build upon your skills, you continue to network, you continue to grow yourself and invest in yourself. the trajectory, it can get almost ludicrous on how much money you can make. If you're very strategic about it, obviously negotiating your salary, building
Mhm.
the right skills, changing companies also helps, changing roles also helps. I've seen people who are 10 years in, 20 years in making, 250, 280, 300 and above. So you can make a lot of money. I think for a lot of folks, what they don't understand is the big money it comes more with
Yeah.
the long-term investment in their career. I mean, granted, you can make quick money in security, but again, it's going to be really hard. People who make a lot of money very quick, they tend to be a little bit more of anomalies than the average.
Mm.
Maybe you're like, hey, Abdi, I'm not average. Hey, listen, go for it. Make your money. But I have noticed that the people who make the most money they tend to do it over a long period of time. Most of the people who I know that make the most money, they have been in their career for about 8, 10 years, and that's when those packages get kind of ludicrous. Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. you know.
Yeah. So in essence, chase experience and money is going to run after you, but don't chase money, right?
Yeah, listen. Yes, I agree with the sentiment. I truly believe that we all like when you're starting out. Yes, there's nothing wrong. There's no wrong with doing it for the money. You have bills to pay. You have your family to feed. There's no shame in that. That's how I started. However, if you want to make the most money, then understand that you're going to have to build skills because when you're competing for these roles in these businesses, you're competing with someone who is not just doing it for the money. They're also doing it because this is something that they truly enjoy and it's part of who they are. So just understand, you know, this is a capitalistic market. You have to compete. And and be mindful that if you want to make the most money, then the people going after the most money, they're also passionate about what they're doing. Not saying passion is a prerequisite to starting. However, just understand that you need to build skills and build that passion over time to make the most money. That's one of your goals.
So how can someone who's starting from like zero, who has no experience, but they're so interested in GRC, what are some practical like levels like they can take to land their first sub GRC role?
Great question. So landing your first role, in my opinion, whether you want to start off becoming a software engineer, a systems engineer, or a GRC analyst or GRC engineer, that tends to be the hardest part. Like it took me 8 to 9 months of applying for jobs to finally get my first role. It took me that long because for most of my senior year, I was getting a lot of letters that started with, "Good afternoon, Abdi. We regret to inform you." I've gotten I still have those letters. I have a whole folder of it for motivation purposes. But yeah, it's really hard. So just be mindful. For those of you getting started in, it's not going to be a cakewalk. Anyone who tells you it's going to be easy, they're lying to you. It really is challenging. It can be less challenging if you do the right things like networking with the appropriate people, going to community events, having a strong digital footprint like on social media platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter. I think those are very valuable. You know, I would say if you want to get started, first audit where you at currently. So maybe you're coming from another career. Maybe you're coming from a career as a mechanic. You know, is that relevant for a GRC role? I say yeah, because sometimes in a GRC role you have to do a lot of investigating. And as someone who's a mechanic, most of the time you're troubleshooting and you're investigating, issues with cars. So really, you have to figure out where are you currently? What skills do I already have? Because our skills aren't exclusive to certain industries. Well, not all our skills, but most of our skills are transferable.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe you're going from an English teacher or you know yeah, like an English teacher. Well, that transitions well to a GRC role if you're interested in building documentation, building policies for an organization. You need to have strong, written communication. That's a big valuable skill in GRC. So really figure out where are you at? Where are you at currently? What skills do you already have? You do that. Okay, now what are the gaps? So if I look at different job roles, right? What are the gaps, given these job roles that I've identified? When you're looking for a role, you have to look at the job descriptions as your study guide. So let's say you're looking for a GRC analyst role, look at 35 different GRC analyst roles and see what's common amongst them and say, okay, let me study on these skills. And then that's when you can talk about the certifications, and then you can look into the courses. By the way, if you're looking for a GRC course, shameless plug, my friend AJ on has a GRC course on LinkedIn. Go check it out right now. It's a great course. It's amazing. Go check it out. Okay,
It
that's
is
it.
amazing. That's a SOC 2 course on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft to brother.
Yeah,
Good
it's
guy. Good
amazing.
guy.
So, speaking of certifications now and training, what other certifications would you recommend for someone looking to get into GRC? So, there's AJ on is SOC 2 training. What other trainings are out there? What other certifications should people get?
Yeah. So great point. Yeah, AJ, his specialty is SOC 2. So if you're looking to get into SOC 2, I would look into his SOC 2 course. He also has a general GRC course as well. You can look into that. For for GRC education, it depends on the role you want. If you want to get into like, you know, GRC, like the like cloud GRC, there are certain folks that I recommend, looking into. Like this guy named Ayub Fandi. He has a great GRC engineering course. He focuses on GRC from a cloud lens. So for those who don't know what cloud is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet using a pay-as-you-go pricing model. It's hot, it's very relevant. A lot of organizations are leveraging it into their overall tech/business strategy. So if you're looking to get in a GRC role, understanding cloud is also valuable. So maybe taking uh, a cloud certification, a foundational cloud certification, like AWS CCP cloud certified cloud practitioner. I think that's very valuable right there. If you're looking for GRC specifics, you could definitely look into Security Plus is also good. I think it gives you it's a very difficult exam. Let me preface that. In my opinion, it's a very difficult exam. It was difficult for me. I failed it twice. So I would definitely look into Security Plus. It gives you a wide breadth of the security space. It doesn't dive deep into certain topics. It just gives you a whole range of different ideas. And as a GRC practitioner, you want to be able to look at things from a 30,000 foot view lens. And Security Plus, it goes over all the different security topics that exist out there, like plenty of it's quite the range. What else? I think this if you want to get into the auditing space in the GRC space, looking at CISA, it's the Certified Information Security Auditor. I think that's a great foundation right there.
In terms of someone going through a GRC interview, what are some questions they can expect in an interview for entry level and mid level as well?
Yeah, so I would say, depending on how technical the GRC role is, some GRC roles tend to have a expectation of you understand a basic networking concepts, IT networking concept. So an entry level question would be, what is the difference between TCP and UDP? Or what is the OSI model? Or, what is the CIA triad? And depending on the role, let's say you're in healthcare, you're doing a healthcare GRC role, they'll ask, hey, what is HIPAA? And why is it important? Why do we care in the healthcare industry about HIPAA? And if you're going for, if you're working with a business we're going to have a business trying to be PCI DSS compliant, they might ask, hey, why is PCI DSS compliant? Why, what, what caused, what incident happened to make this compliance framework into existence essentially? Because as you know, these compliance frameworks exist because nobody wants to do the bare minimum anyways. Something bad happens and then, oh, you guys don't want to do the bare minimum? Then fine. Now we're going to mandate it through law because no one wants to do it in the first place. And it's going to cost you if you don't do it. So I think those are some basic questions. Understand that you really have to run your own race. You might see someone, next to you who started and it took them 6 months to find a role. There are some folks who find a role in 3 months. There are some folks who find a role in a year. Really, focus on running your own race because when you're focusing on everybody else's race, you tend to hinder your own progress. So again, don't be discouraged, be encouraged. I know right now it's a turbulent market. People are getting laid off left and right. Entry level roles are being more competitive. If you look at LinkedIn, an entry level role is dropped. You see about 1,000 applicants in less than an hour. It can be a little discouraging. Just know that there is hope. If you're really trying to find a role, network with professionals on LinkedIn and go to meetups. I think that'd be very valuable. Document your journey, share your story online. I know some people really want to make their life as private as possible, which I do understand and I do respect. I'm not saying you need to share every little thing that you're doing. You don't have to share with the world that, you're making tea on a Saturday morning on LinkedIn. You don't have to do that, you know, but I do encourage you to connect with people and share what inspired you to get your career started in the space, and really just document, each what you're learning, comment and like and comment, engage with people who are also in the same space as you, connect with people who are in the same level as you. Let's say you're getting started, connect with other folks who are getting started. Now also connect with people who are about 5 years in, and connect with people who are also 10, 20 years in, so on and so forth, just to give you that perspective of, hey, you got different perspectives from those who are getting started, those who've been doing it for a little while, and those who've been doing it for a long time. So I think in summation, really, really run your own race, but also make sure that you're making the relationships, because relationship capital is very, very underrated. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn at Abdi Mohammed. Feel free to shoot me a connect message. And yeah, I'm most active on LinkedIn, to be honest with you. And yeah, if you want to connect, feel free to connect with me. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with you all. Christabel, thank you so much for the golden opportunity. This was fun. I really enjoyed it.